Many of us default to a handful of broad emotional labels: happy, sad, angry, stressed. You might feel a general sense of unease and simply call it stressed. But what if this broad brush approach is actually hindering your ability to cope, making your emotions feel more overwhelming and persistent? It might sound counterintuitive, but having more words for your feelings, not fewer, is a profound path to emotional well-being. This concept is known as emotional granularity, a term popularized by neuroscientist Feldman Barrett from Northeastern University. She defines it as the ability to differentiate between various emotional states with precision, moving beyond those basic, often vague categories. It is about discerning the subtle nuances of your inner experience, distinguishing, for instance, between anxiety, apprehension, unease, and dread. The mechanism behind this isn't magic. It's rooted in how your brain processes information. When you assign a specific, precise label to an emotion, you engage higher-order cognitive functions. This act of labeling helps to create a psychological distance from the raw feeling itself, allowing your prefrontal cortex to exert more control over the limbic system, which is responsible for primal emotional responses. You move from simply experiencing an emotion to observing and understanding it. This idea is echoed in the work of Marc Brackett, director of the Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence. His research on emotional literacy emphasizes the importance of understanding and expressing feelings accurately. Brackett's ruler framework, which helps individuals recognize, understand, label, express, and regulate emotions, consistently shows that a finer-grained understanding of one's emotional landscape leads to improved decision-making, healthier relationships, and reduced instances of bullying and anxiety in various populations. In 2026, the relevance of emotional granularity is arguably higher than ever. The constant demands of modern life, from information overload and digital connectivity to social media comparison and the pervasive threat of burnout, leave many feeling overwhelmed. Yet, the language we use to describe these complex internal states often remains simplistic. People report feeling bad or stressed without the tools to pinpoint whether it is frustration, exhaustion, disappointment, or a combination of subtle feelings, making it harder to address the root cause. The cost of ignoring emotional granularity is significant, as Feldman Barrett's lab has extensively demonstrated. Their studies indicate that individuals with lower emotional granularity not only take longer to recover from stressful experiences, but also exhibit higher levels of chronic stress, anxiety, and are more susceptible to mood disorders. Without precise emotional labels, your brain struggles to effectively regulate these states, leaving you feeling adrift and less in control of your inner world. So, how do you cultivate this powerful skill of emotional granularity and unlock its healing potential? It is not about becoming a walking thesaurus of feelings overnight. It is about intentional practice. There are 3 research-backed practical moves you can integrate into your daily life, starting today, to develop a richer, more nuanced understanding of your emotions. The first move is to actively build your emotional vocabulary. Think of it as expanding your internal color palette beyond just primary colors. Tiffany Smith, author of The Book of Human Emotions, meticulously details a vast array of human feelings, many of which you might recognize but struggle to name. Seek out emotion wheels, lists of feelings, or even a thesaurus for emotional terms. When you feel sad, consider if it is closer to wistful, melancholic, despondent, or perhaps just disappointed. The second move, often referred to as name to tame, is directly supported by neuroimaging research. Matthew Lieberman and his team at UCLA conducted fMRI studies showing that when individuals label an emotional image or feeling, there is a decrease in activity in the amygdala, the brain's alarm center, and an increase in activity in the ventrolateral prefrontal cortex, which is involved in self-control and emotional regulation. Simply put, articulating an emotion precisely can literally calm your brain down. The third practical move is to differentiate the body sensation from the emotion. Emotions are not just mental events. They are deeply embodied experiences. Instead of just thinking, "I am anxious," pause and ask yourself, where do I feel this in my body? Is it a tightness in my chest, a knot in my stomach, restless legs, or a racing heart? By separating the physiological sensation from the cognitive label, you gain more specific data, which helps you identify and understand the emotion with greater clarity. When you stack these three moves, expanding your vocabulary, actively naming your feelings, and grounding them in bodily sensations, you create a powerful feedback loop. You move from a vague, overwhelming "I feel bad" to a specific, actionable "I feel frustrated because of this unmet expectation, and I notice tension in my shoulders." This precision allows you to choose more targeted coping strategies, communicate your needs more effectively, and ultimately gain a greater sense of agency over your emotional responses. This isn't just theory, it is a practical skill you can develop. Try one of these moves tonight. When you next feel a strong emotion, pause and try to find a more precise word for it, or pinpoint where it registers in your body. You might be surprised by the immediate shift. For more insights into building a healthier mind, subscribe to this channel.